guys, it's Jen. I am going to try for like the third time now to make a video so that you guys can have a walkthrough of the website and get familiar with our website we're using now for BigCity, the open.church website. This is going to take you through creating a login for yourselves so that you can then access what we are going to be using, what we do with our curriculum. Now, before I get started with all of this, just so you know, you won't be required to print anything out or to provide any of your own resources at all. That's going to be stuff that we have provided for you. I'm printing things out each week so that your MC guide, your small group leader guide, all of the activities, they're all going to be prepared for you every Sunday. So that's not something you're going to have to worry about. So the first thing you're going to go to is you're going to go to where it says open.church, and up in the right hand corner there is the box that says login or sign up. Now for you, you're going to click sign up if you haven't already got an account made. There will be a spot where you'll enter your name, your email address, and then a password. You don't have to select church name or area of ministry. Those aren't things that their website requires to have on file. You will have to accept the terms of service, and then you'll hit create account. Now for me, I'm going to go back to login and log in. Now, when you get to it, it's going to most likely, for me, it automatically brought me into the elementary, but for you, most likely what it'll do will take you to the main open page. When you get to the main open page, what you're going to need to do is you'll click on the top of the page on the left-hand side. There are tabs that say resources, ideas, products, or the bylife.church. Click on resources. That's going to direct you to the page where you can find where we're going. So you're going to scroll down, and on the left it's going to say areas of ministry. Put your cursor over kids, and it'll pop a box off to the side. We're doing elementary. Click on the elementary link, and it will take you to where we will normally have. Now I have the open.church website link for the elementary program itself bookmarked to my computer, so it always takes me there. I recommend doing that, but if you're using mobile, which this doesn't access very well for mobile, at least not for my phone, so maybe iPhones have better use of it, but Android so far has not accessed it very well on the website. So you'll most likely have to do this on your computer, in which case I recommend bookmarking this. Now, down here as you scroll through it, you'll see all of these the titles of things, like we have dealing with feeling, grace, Easter, peer relationships. All of these are where you'll find what you're doing each month. Like dealing with feeling is the entire month of April. The grace was the month of March, and peer relationships was February, Be Wise was January. It takes you through that way. So you're going to click on, so always I can't say always because I don't know for sure, but so far, every time I've logged in, the month that we are in right now will be the very first box on the top left of the corner of the columns. So you'll click on that one, like this month it's dealing with feeling. And then it's going to take you to where it has all 4 parts. Now where it says part 1, part 2, part 3, part 4, replace part with week, and that's what it is. So you have part 1 is week 1, part 2 is week 2, part 3 is week 3, and so on. So a general overview of what we have here, where it says group elements, the MC Tech Guide, and the small group guide. Now this is if you're an MC or if you're willing to substitute as an MC if someone's out sick. That's where you'll find the document that we use. Small group leader guides, that's the small group leader guide here, that's what we have here. Now the only thing to know about this is that the MC and the small group guides, both of them put all 4 weeks in the same document. So when you click on the MC Tech PDF, it's going to open it up and take it to, it's opening up. See, it'll take you, and you'll have to scroll through to find the week that you're going to be using. So we have week 1, and then week 2, and week 3. They're all in the same document. So same with the small group leader guide, those are the same. So we're going to go over the MC Tech real quick, just so you know, because even if you aren't doing MC, maybe familiarizing yourself with the main layout of this, especially if you're new to BigCity, this is going to be a good idea so that you have an idea of what how we run things on Sundays. So the main thing to look at is the way that it's very simple, guys. It's very simple. So connect small group welcome. This is where you'll get together with your small groups. In first service, generally, we don't have a large enough crowd to do designated small groups. So we'll get together with the kids and go over the welcome question. And the welcome question will be on the screen for you, and you'll go over it with the kids. Theme song, it runs straight through. Sometimes if we've gone through and answered all of the kids have answered the welcome question, but there's still time left on the slide, I'll ask whoever is running the computer to go ahead and jump the slide to the theme song so that we're not just standing there with dead time. Because we really do need to maximize our time since we're still out in the gym. Walking back and forth takes a good bit of time out of our chunk for being in Big City. So I don't want to lose the time to connect with the kids. So cut where we can, pretty much. Intro connection is very quick. It's where whoever is the MC will get up, give a little spiel about introducing themselves, what Big City is, recognizing our VIPs, go over the monthly topic, which will be on the screen beside you, and then it's going directly to go into the rules. Now the rules is a video, so you'll go over the rules with the video. You'll stay up there on the stage, go through the rules with them. Whoever is the MC is up on the stage. The small group leader guides are leader groups, people. You'll be up in the crowd with the kids. So it's a good idea to help keep them focused on the group. Notice, kind of filter around a little bit. It's okay to walk around them. If you notice that there are kids that aren't paying attention or who might be on cell phones or on iPads or playing with toys, purses. Got some girls who bring purses and do makeup and would rather be doing that. We really want them to put that aside, kind of tap them on the shoulder and remind them, hey, you want to pay attention to what's going on and watch the rules. So be filtering amongst the kids, whoever is doing the small group leaders, kind of keep up with them. So once you get through the rules, you're going to jump into another MC portion where we're going to recap the rules real quickly, explaining the dot stickers. Now we're not doing the dot stickers right now, but I really am trying to get into that. I need to get a poster board so that we have that. Potentially, maybe if you're watching this video and you're new coming into the Big City, maybe we've got one. So really quickly, the dots are going to be, the MC will most of the time be up on the stage through the whole lesson plan. The only time they're not is during the video teaching segment or worship. During that point, I'm going to have a poster board, or try and get a poster board of some kind set up so we can put stickers on the poster board. And I want to have like the little dot stickers. So that kids can see as each side is earning a dot. Right now we've had buckets and we've been trying to use balls, but we don't have enough balls really to make it effective or to really get them to see what's going on. Good behavior, good paying attention, answering questions, all of that's going to earn them a sticker. Now you're dividing the room into halves so that the left side of the room is competing against the right side of the room. Ultimately, I would like each side to win and tie and get the prize at the end of the day. But you know what? The reality is that I want them to see that their actions have consequences, and maybe if there's a side that is acting up, that side doesn't end up getting enough stickers and they don't get the prize. And that's sad, but that's life. So coming up will be hopefully by next month, hopefully. So by May, I will hopefully have everything in place for the dot stickers and preparing that. So then you'll the MC pitches straight to the offering from there. The offering video will be playing while the kids are passing buckets. You'll generally not have a problem finding a child to pass the bucket. There are a few who will demand to pass the bucket, so just be prepared for that. And then it moves straight into the point. So you're still up on the stage during this time. It moves into the point connection, so it'll have the little point slide up so that you can go over the point with the children. Each week has a different point for it. Then it moves straight into the teaching theater. So you're going to go, they're generally about anywhere from 12 to 18 minutes long videos. I think a couple of the first few ones were a little bit longer than that, but now they're generally sticking right around about 13 to 14 minute videos a piece. Then you'll jump, after the video is complete, the MC can get down off the stage during the time that they're doing the theater video, because I personally don't want to stand up on stage in front of the kids during that video for 15 minutes and distract them from it. I'm not going to ask you to. So Stand off to the side, get down, back around the kids, maybe sit down with them. Be prepared to help keep kids focused on what's going on. And then, let's see, moving down. As soon as the Bible theater part is over, you get back on stage. You're doing, the MC will go over the verse connecting, recapping the show, practice the verse together, and then you jump to the small group activity. Now, if we have enough time, we'll do the small group activity. We try to. I want the kids to be getting the activity pieces. If you don't have enough time to do small group activity on its own, generally the MC or whoever is in the group at that time, whether it's Karen or myself, or if Amy happens to be in there at the time, whoever, generally they're going to be keeping an eye all the time. We might end up connecting the activity and do it in the small group discussion time instead of doing it on its own. And you'll just go over what the activity is and send it home with them. Have them take it home. They can color the page themselves. They can put together the craft, whatever it might be. It's okay for them to take it home and do it at home, but I do want them to have that to go home with. I don't want them going home empty-handed. I want them taking home something from the lesson. Some parents might not like it because it just clutters things up. I like the kids having something they can work with and have hands-on. Same thing with the challenge card. We want them taking the challenge card home. Some of the parents are really enjoying going through the little the application part in the Bible app to go through with the kids with the reading plan. So anyway, moving on. Then after the small group, or if you don't have enough time for the small group, immediately after the verse, you're jumping into worship. You'll do the worship training video, our teaching video, and then doing the worship. Straight after worship, it pitches to the commercial and the ABCs, and then you, after those little videos, they're about a minute and a half a piece. After those little videos are done, it goes straight into another live connection time. The MC will get up, recap the ABCs, encourage it. We're not giving an invitation every week in BigCity, but I do want to try for at least every other week or once a month, trying to give them an idea for an invitation. If no one answers, then that's great. But I want them hearing, well, it's not great, but it's okay. I don't want it shoved down their throat. I don't want a repeat after me. I know Tim does that in church, and that's great because adults generally understand when they're praying and that they're making that decision for themselves. I don't want children in the group being led to say, pray this prayer after me, and then feeling like they've said the prayer, but not really knowing what they're getting themselves into. So I want the kids to understand, explain the ABCs, admit, believe, I think confess or commit. It depends on who's doing it, honestly. But you go through, explain what that is, explain the part about salvation, why we need it, and give them the chance to come and talk to you, or go to get one of the leaders in the back. We have next step booklets now. We have plenty of them in the back boxes, so there's plenty to pass out to kids. If they want to pray with you or if they want to go pray with their parents, either one is fine. But I want the kids to walk away knowing what it is that they need to do to become saved. So there's that. And then you're going to shoot, as soon as you get done with the other connection there, you're going to shoot to the small group discussion time. Now they allot about 10 minutes for it. Sometimes, depending on the size of the group, 10 minutes is way too much time. So it's whatever really is working for you at that time, depending on how many kids you have and how well things go. And then as soon as, right now, with us being out in the gym, as soon as small group discussion is over, we walk. We head out. We lock up the gym or leave someone behind. I try not to leave the kids anymore because it's become a problem with the way the setup is done, with the kids kind of being able to run all over, and it gets them riled up between services. So it's just a lot easier on the equipment and on the volunteers, and it's safer for the kids to just have everybody walk at once so that we have enough volunteers to be with the kids and watching them as you're walking from one place to the next. So if we can manage to be praying, if we manage to get into the elementary and use that all-purpose room like we did for Easter, that would be amazing. It would definitely give us extra time to be with the kids. It would cut out the walk that we have, and it would, once we're in there, it'll be a lot easier transition on getting checkout versus what we have right now. So anyway, that's the end of the MC Tech Guide. I'm going to go back to the small group guide. And when you look at the small group guide, it's also very simple, very easy layout. Oh, on the MC Tech Guide, the second page, if you look, Mike can probably find a way to splice it into the video. I'm not going to have it right now. On the second page, because there's 2 pages to each week. The second page, if you're the MC, it's giving you sample script. So each little spot where it's a yellow mark that pops off to the side, each one corresponds to a sample script on the page on the second page. So if you need ideas on what to say, you can always flip it over and look at that. It'll be on the back side of your page when you have it in BigCity, when I have it printed out. Okay, small group leader guide. Small group welcome, very simple right here. It tells you to introduce yourself, welcome the kids, try and get them all to introduce themselves. If you don't have a new kid you don't know, introduce them to the group. Ask them, check up with them, ask them what happened last week, ask them what's going on, ask them if they had anything. If they were taking prayer requests, ask them how their prayer request went. Was there an answer to a prayer or whatever? And then ask them about the discussion welcome question. Each week it's a different question, so it's kind of a way to get them talking and get them thinking about what's going to be discussed during the lesson plan. Small group activity, very easy to explain, very simple to go over and look at. This is a great idea to get yourself familiarized if you're doing small group leading, to get yourself familiarized with maybe the day before you're going into BigCity, so that you just kind of know what you're walking into and you're prepared for it, instead of just kind of getting the script the day of. And yeah, a lot of people can wing it, but it's nice to know what you're walking into ahead of time. So all of your stuff will be prepared for your activity. And again, if you aren't able to do it in the time that we have, send it home with them. Let them take it home. Then you have small group discussion. You'll go over the Bible verse with them one more time and the point. Have them say it out loud. We really want them to kind of get used to saying it. And again, small group leader guides, once I have the dot stickers and everything set up to be working with that, you'll each have a sheet or two or three sheets of the dot stickers, and you can put them on the kids during the discussion time, and those get added into the points for their team. So then we have, that's if they're repeating, reciting, paying attention, behaving correctly, that's what gets in the stickers. Then we have our discussion points. You can pick a couple of review questions and discuss it with them. Generally you're not going to go over all of them. Pick one or two out of the group and give them time to discuss it. Figure out which one will work best for whatever group age you have at that time. And then you're going to go through an action question. There's generally one or two of those. I like to go over both personally when I'm doing it, because they're very simple little questions. Like for week 1 in this, it was, what's one way you'll praise God this week? Those don't take very long to answer. Something very simple you can go through. And then, what will you do this week when you see someone else who's glad? Again, very simple question. Most of your kids aren't going to be giving you novels with these answers. And if you have a child who generally tries to wander and take longer than they need to explain, rein them in and you can keep them focused on task. And then you jump into praying. Now, this is where I want y'all to take time to actually do this part. I want the kids to get used to having prayer requests and praying together, because I find it to be very important for them to have that foundation and know that they don't just pray when they're in church, that they have prayer requests to pray for throughout the week. I want the kids to start getting assigned, even if a child didn't have a prayer request, ask each child when they leave to remember to pray for the person sitting to their left or to their right, whichever one works best for you. Ask them to pray for that person as they go through their week. And when they come back into church next week, ask them if they remember to pray for them. If they didn't, that's great. It's not great, but we're not going to penalize them. If they didn't, remind them to pray for them again later. If they did pray for them, congratulate them and give them a dot. Thank them for what they were doing and remind them how great it is that they were able to pray to God about it. The best moment for me when we were doing this was, I want to say it was January, maybe it was February, and I had 4th and 5th graders, and I had Cole, Jolly, and Gianna were in my group, and Gianna had asked for prayer for a friend and for her grandmother, and she was the only one who'd asked for a prayer request, and I asked if someone would mind taking those prayer requests and praying over them this week for me. Cole raised his hand and took those prayer requests. I thought that was very sweet. To be honest, I didn't expect him to follow through. I don't expect 4th and 5th graders to remember to pray for somebody every week or every day throughout the week after they've left, because they generally have a very short attention span. The next Sunday, Cole came running into the class and came and grabbed me. And he said, "Guess what? Guess what?" "What, Cole? What happened?" Because you know how you asked us to pray last week? I was like, yeah. I remembered. I prayed every single day for her and for her friend and for her grandmother. I remembered to pray for them. And it gives me chill bumps even now, because it was such a great moment to know that that was an impact, that was impacted upon him, about how great it is to pray and how he has that access. And that's what I want these kids to get. That's how I want this to work. I want them to know that they have access to the throne, that they can take these before God, they can pray. And I want to raise up these prayer warriors to become great and mighty people for God. So, little tangent, but that's what we're all about in Big City, is we want these kids to get prepared for what real world is. We want them to move directly from us, because once they leave us, guys, that's pretty much it. Like, you still have youth group that they can attend, but on Sundays, they're directly in church now. They're going to be directly under Tim. They're not going to have the time to be one-on-one taught like what we do in Big City anymore. They move straight out into real world. And then they're jumping into middle school. And I think most of us are pretty familiar with what's going on in middle school these days and how harsh the real world is for kids. And I want them to have the foundation and leave us knowing that they have people they can come, even if they're not in Big City, they can come find us at church. They can come talk to us and give us hugs and ask us to pray for them. They can ask their parents to pray for them. They know that they can take prayer requests before God. They have this foundation. I want them to have this strong foundation. That's what we're working towards in Big City. Sorry, small tangent. Anyway, then after that you pray and then you dismiss. If we're in the gym, of course, our dismissal is walking from one place to the next. If we manage to get into the all-purpose room, our dismissal is to allow them to play. If they didn't have time to finish their activity, they can finish the activity then. Otherwise, we'll have music playing in the background, and the Connect logo will be on a loop, and parents will be coming in to pick them up and check them out as we are there. Anyway, that's pretty much it for what you guys need to know. As far as the rest of the part 1, 2, 3, and 4, there's nothing really for you to need to worry about. Excuse me. Mike, feel free to edit that part out. There is nothing you guys really have to worry about. The activity sheet of what you're looking at, you can pull it up and see. It's going to be whatever the activity is for that week. And that's about the only thing that you'll need to really see if you want to. You're not required to. I'll have it printed out and it'll be discussed. And you'll get a pretty good overview of what the activity is for that week in the small group leader guide anyway. So just kind of look over that and pay attention to that. Anyway, I think that's it. Hopefully when you see this video, Mike will have done some magic editing stuff, and there will be all kinds of things spliced in, and you can see the link and it'll have pictures of what to do and where to go. That would be awesome. We shall see. Anyway, you guys have a great day.